There are times when I wonder what first-person shooters can do to innovate the core mechanics of the genre, aside from borrowing elements from hit games until they milk it for everything it has to offer. This is what initially stood out to me about Disintegration, V1 Interactive's debut title from the co-creator of the Halo franchise, which seemed to create its own concept within the genre.
You've been sitting there this whole time.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt your chat with something so trivial as our resistance.
Disintegration is set in a far distant future. Innovations in human brain preservation through robotic integration started to become the norm, but one day it was used as the basis for a civil war against humanity in an attempt to surpass it. This war has been led by a deadly force called Rion, under the command of the Black Shook. As part of the resistance, players take control of Romer Shoal and a band of outlaws as they fight to take out the Rion and recover their humanity. The story of Disintegration is interesting as it tells a narrative from a powerful force under the guise of a corporation that tricked humanity into transferring their brain to humanoid weapons. However, the unfortunate thing is how Disintegration sets up its plot only for it to fall apart due to pacing. It's hard to understand the flimsy foundation as the cold open introduces the main protagonist, antagonists, setting, supporting characters, and objectives within a few short cutscenes with little to no details in between. Given that this is a brand new IP, I would have expected the story to spend a bit more time fleshing out its world and characters. I was looking forward to understanding this fight, but each time I completed a mission, I felt more lost during the intermissions and I couldn't seem to catch up. Regardless, Disintegration isn't only about the story. Surprisingly, the blending in FPS and RTS genres work out and becomes the highlight of the game. There's also a sense of independence as you create your own strategies that make the system encourage creativity during matches. During those matches, players can climb inside of a grav cycle, a weapon-mounted vehicle that makes it easy to get around the map quickly. This also makes up the first-person portions of the gameplay, as you're able to fire out an arsenal of weapons as you make your way to the objective. However, shooting down enemies isn't the only thing that you need to manage. Disintegration also has players give orders to soldiers running around on the ground. While Disintegration can technically be played as a shooter, players will get the most out of it by commanding teams to make use of their abilities to kill or help stagger enemies. Still, this all starts with the basic commands like stay, follow, and setting priority targets, which are executed by aiming and pressing a command button. That said, there are still a few things to get used to. AI has some odd behavior when it comes to following positional directions. This is especially noticeable when trying to get a group to huddle around a healing zone or getting them to take cover during a tense firefight. The outlaws in particular tend not to sit still when you need them to take the extra second to recover. To be fair, Disintegration's mechanics lean more towards a more arcade-like take on the RTS genre. Instead of macro-managing tactics, AI is fast and responsive by always being in front of your view in order to immediately attack opponents you've marked, making for reliable commands in this offensive forward combat. Not to mention the commands are not behind menus or button combinations to further emphasize the fast-paced nature of the fight. The other benefits to commanding a team is their abilities that players have at their disposal. Each outlaw has a different set of skills that sets them apart from one another, like Koku's shotgun, Doyle's missile raid, or Sequin's slow field. There are also some RPG elements here, such as collecting salvage to level up and finding upgrade chips to equip stat boosts like faster ability recharges, more armor, or respawn time for your downed comrades. The most compelling aspects is using your AI squad as an extension of your abilities. However, seeing as the mechanics are still all attack focused, there isn't much more you can do with the team. In fact, the opportunities to heal yourself and your squad are all up to you, as there aren't any recovery or buffing skills for your partners to use. This is odd considering how tough the combat portions within the game can be, where teammates can easily be killed and retreating to take a breather can be a bit cumbersome. The multiplayer portion of Disintegration also leaves much to be desired. While the different crews are visually fun, they act more as loadout as they function the same outside of the weapons they use. However, there are 3 multiplayer modes to choose from, including Zone Control, a domination type mode where players take control of multiple zones on the map, and a capture the flag mode called Retrieval. The most interesting mode out of the bunch is Collector, which involves gathering points in the form of brain cannons by killing grav cycle pilots and ground units. Playing these modes felt like the standard lot that is included with most multiplayer games. It had me aspire to play something a little bit more original. Given that a 30-person team made Disintegration, it is an impressive project that proves that there are still new ideas to be had in the shooter genre that doesn't have to come from AAA's size budgets. But that doesn't mean there aren't things to criticize.
Whoa! You should see this, Romer!
What do you think?
I think Rezik's got a project on his hands.
Disintegration seemed to be in a hurry to introduce itself to the world, and this ended up hurting its campaign. The plot doesn't hold your attention, but the unique gameplay mechanics of FPS and RTS systems will surely keep you invested across each map. When it works, Disintegration is a hell of a fun time. Here's hoping that the multiplayer mode evolves with the community. Noisy Pixel is giving Disintegration a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Noisy Pixel is ran by a group of gamers who work hard to give you news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe and click on the bell to keep up with all of our latest videos.